Giving birth for the first time made me feel like Superwoman. I pushed a human out of my powerful vagina without drugs, nourished that child with my magical lactating breasts, and wore that child on my person like the world's most perfect fashion accessory. I was tired and sometimes cranky, but overall, I felt like I could do anything. Like have another child. And another. And shoot, why not one more? And then the one more came. I slept in a recliner most of my surprise pregnancy, eating buckets of crushed ice with a spoon and binge watching Lost, until after a 36-hour labor that included a trip to Bed Bath & Beyond to buy a vase, and a spinach pizza from Papa John's, a little bundle of wild intensity landed in my arms. We named him Felix, which means happy. Perhaps we should have named him Jack, as in, my life is about to get jacked. Felix wanted back in the womb. He needed to be touched 24/7. And since I never invested in one of those pillows that's shaped like a disembodied hand, yes, those are real, look them up, the touching had to come from me. I would spend hours nursing him to sleep, then attempt to utilize my perfected by 3 other children's stealth ninja moves, and slowly roll off the bed and drop to the floor. But Felix had supervillain sensory powers, and he knew if I moved even a quarter inch to the left, and he would wake and scream. So I'd start again, exhausted and completely forgetting that slings even existed. And the other kids ran completely wild. Peeing on the floor, stealing all the food, drawing on the walls, a pig's head on a pike. Maybe not that. Did I mention I was supposed to be homeschooling? The Peter principle in business states that in a hierarchy, every employee tends to rise to his level of incompetence. I had risen to the level of my parenting incompetence. I was no longer able to manage effectively. I call this the PP principle. I know what you're thinking, that I'm exaggerating in some way, that everyone feels like they're inadequate. You know those big families that struggle privately, but outwardly they seem so perfect. I had more than one person tell me I'm the reason they don't want more kids. Have you reached the PP principle? Here are some signs. If you find your daughter wandering outside wearing 47 tutus and no panties. If you brew a pot of hot water instead of coffee. If you do this more than once. If your friend comes over to help and her son cheerfully informs you that you have the messiest house he's ever seen. If this happens more than once. If a night in the hospital is the best night of sleep you've had in years. Once I reached the PP principle, I never ever wanted to have another baby. The idea of ever going through this again made me feel like the old woman in the shoe. We always assumed she had 100 kids, but she might have only had 4. I'd hit that wall. I had met others who had. Had they forgotten the softness of baby skin? How nothing feels quite like a newborn's arm? Or that smell? Or the funny little faces they make? Or the bizarre little things that come out of their mouths when they're learning to talk? Silly people. And then it happened to me. I knew it when my friend gave birth to one of the world's most beautiful baby girls, with soft red hair like a baby orangutan. Nothing. I forgot to ask to hold her. Because my ovaries are dried up bags of dust. So my husband and I made the decision together to no longer be promoted parentally. But I did not want to stay in a situation of aggressive mediocrity, so I instigated a paradigm shift. Our list of action items included vasectomy, putting the kids in public school, getting rid of most of our belongings, and this happened more than once, and new income opportunities for me. My husband and I did some team building exercises to reach a higher operating standard and find our core competency. 5 years later, we are still figuring out best practices, but we are eating this elephant one bite at a time. My little guy is still amped to 11, but I'm happy to announce that he sleeps beautifully in his own bed without anyone touching him, and will not be breastfeeding in college because I weaned him over a year ago. He is still obsessed with my belly button, however. The older kids all dote on their younger brother, and we operate in harmony a good 20% of the time. It's not quite synergy, but I'll take it. I may not be the world's best manager, but I offer a fully stocked break room, lenient performance reviews, and fabulous holiday parties. And no, we are not hiring.